recently on September 24th, 2013, in an article written by Christopher Klein, posted on the History Channel webpage. He bears witness to what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said in 1972 about American planes scouting around with bombs that were capable of ripping this wheel apart. The article's headline reads, "A newly declassified document reveals how close the United States came to accidentally detonating a nuclear bomb on North Carolina in 1961. The article states, quote, "On January 23, 1961, a B-52 Stratofortress bomber patrolled the night skies over the Atlantic Ocean. It was 3 days after the presidential inauguration of President John F. Kennedy. And with the Cold War in a full freeze, American bombers such as this one, carrying a pair of 3.8 megaton Mark 39 hydrogen bombs, were kept airborne at all times to defend the country. Many hours had passed since the B-52 took off from Seymour Johnson Air Force Base near Goldsboro, North Carolina, when something suddenly went wrong. Fuel started to gush out of a leak in the plane. 19 tons of fuel were lost in just 2 minutes. And as the pilot attempted to limp back to Goldsboro, the right wing suddenly sheared from the plane. The bomber plunged into a tailspin and began to break up. 6 of the 8 crewmen ejected. As the plane spiraled to earth, the bombs, each of which were 260 times more powerful than the nuclear weapon dropped on Hiroshima, broke loose and plunged to the ground as well. 5 of the men who were ejected parachuted to safety. The other 3 crew members were killed in the crash. Well, you might think, what about these supersonic planes that America and others are making now? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, yes, but they won't be around. Why won't they be around? It's not that the wheel is going to destroy them, but there's going to be a war. And most of your Air Force, America, will be destroyed by each other in the war that is now coming up. Listen to what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says on this in the Theology of Time on the 9th of July, 1972. In his lecture, he says, this plane goes above the earth 40 miles to unload those bombs on America. She gets up 40 miles. Oh, you say, we have jets that can fly like that. Right. But brother, when this plane unloads her deadly destruction, you won't have any planes up there. No, they won't fly up there with your jets. They are going to get rid of your jets on the ground first. You may ask, how are they going to do that, Mr. Muhammad? They'll do it like this. He said the first thing they will do, they will go and destroy all America's airplane bases, and they will also destroy her planes that you see running up in the air now at the speed of sound, at a terrific speed of a gunshot, and even faster than that. What is the speed of a gunshot? The little weapon that you, my little brother, have in your hands may be a 9mm, and the speed that that bullet flies at when it leaves the chamber is at 1,250 feet per second, or 1.11 times faster than the speed of sound. The Glock pistol used by the police, when its bullet leaves the chamber, it travels at 1,230 feet per second, or 1.09 times faster than the speed of sound. The military weapon, the M16 rifle or civilian AR-15 rifle, when its bullets leave the chamber, it travels at 3,110 feet per second, or 2.77 times faster than the speed of sound. Well, what is the speed of sound? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us it is 1,120 feet per second. Now, they are going to get rid of these fast planes first. How are they going to get rid of them? Elijah Muhammad says, yes, they're going to make her and her enemies get rid of them. Oh, yes. America has some enemies that have the same thing that America has. So put them to fighting first and make them get rid of each other. That will just about do it. They will almost kill or destroy each other. This is what they're driving them to do now. As one scientist on the wheel said, America, the Caucasian was not worth using no such high explosion on. Just wasn't worth it. So let me tell you about the high explosive you are not even worthy of. What is this high explosive? Oh, but we'll get to that later in the broadcast. So when we said last week in an article in the August 3rd, 1973 issue of Muhammad Speaks, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad talks about the end of the war that is coming up, and he raises the question, what can we expect at the end of the war? Paradise or hell? And it reads in the Bible in a part of Daniel, the 9th chapter, the 26th and 27th verses, and unto the end of the war, desolations are determined, and that is determined shall be poured upon the desolate. This means the war is coming. And remember what we said in edition 48 of the time and what must be done, entitled Separation, Independence, that at the time of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he sent messages to the Caesar of Rome and the Khosrows of Persia, inviting them to Islam, or inviting them to submit to the will of God that they may find peace. Ultimately, Rome and Persia clashed. The Romans won, but it was in fact a Pyrrhic victory, which means that after winning the war, they lost so much that it became the ultimate end of the Roman Empire. Rome today is represented by the United States of America, and Persia today is represented by the Islamic Republic of Iran. Well, war then is coming, and Iran has something to do with this upcoming war. And as Persia was to Rome, Iran is now to America, and I, in the name of Allah and Muhammad, invite America, Iran, Israel, and others to bow down to the will of God, submit to the will of God, that you may enter into peace, that there may not be any war. But as Rome and Persia refused to accept the invitation of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, so will you refuse to accept the call or invitation from Master Farad Muhammad, the great Mahdi, and the great Messiah, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, to submit to Allah. Therefore, war is inevitable. It is being reported through Reuters and other major news services that about 49 senators, including newly elected New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, are supporting a bill to enact new economic sanctions on Iran. It is called the Nuclear Weapons-Free Iran Act of 2013. Its initial sponsors were Senator Robert Menendez, Democrat of New Jersey, and Senator Mark Kirk, Republican of Illinois, who launched this effort just prior to the Congress's holiday recess. We shared this with you in edition 48 of the Time and What Must Be Done. These senators are aiming to destroy the present peace gesture between Iran and America over Iran's nuclear facilities. These senators and congressmen want to put tougher sanctions on Iran, that this may destroy the peace effort. But it will also plunge America again into another war. Every one of you in the Senate and in the Congress that votes for this, we desire the American people to see you and know who you are. That if war comes, and it more than likely will, as a result of what you are doing to side with your friend Israel, then I want the American people to rise against these that shall have brought America into another war. Get them out of the Congress and even send them to the front lines, like General Patton sent that coward to the front lines after he slapped the hell out of him and pulled his weapon and said, "I ought to blow your brains out." You members of Congress are sitting behind a wall, sending American children to war for your foolishness. Remember, America, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told me that one day you will see these leaders in the back of pickup trucks in chains being driven through the streets of America, and the American people throwing garbage and other objects at them. It's not you maneuvering for war. It's God maneuvering you. You plan, but He plans, and He is the best of planners. He intends for you, lovers of war, to destroy each other. So we want the American people to know all these senators and congressmen that are voting to destroy an effort for peace and want to put harder